Could you please introduce yourself and tell us about the technology that won you a Consensus Award?
It's a pleasure to be here as a recipient of the Consensus Awards. My name is Bruce Wren. I'm the CEO of Revealr. And Revealr is a software technology company based in Sydney, Australia. We've invented a technology which we call digital twin. And the space that we're occupying is one of the most persistent problems that the industry and really mankind has had for about 30 years. We're talking about the humble document. But the humble document really is the way we convey information in the world. It's how we record it. And so what's a typical document? It's an A4 piece of paper times n number of pages. And there are now something like 15 trillion documents in the world, some about roughly 50% being in Word and in PDF. Now, what needs to be changed is what you might ask. Well, we think that Microsoft has done a wonderful job about creating content, and it has a product called Microsoft Word, and the cloud-based edition is called M365, Microsoft 365. And that's a way that most business creates content. There are other products around like Google Docs and so on, but Microsoft has the lion's share of the marketplace. And that's how we create our knowledge base in every government agency and every university and every corporation. The thing is that these documents are really, every document is, however, an island. It's an encapsulated single object of A4 piece of paper times n number of pages. And the thing about that is that when you present a document, it's kind of an all or nothing experience. You either have the whole document. You can't just have page 4 of a document, or I just want to have chapter 3. How do you get to your document? You probably go to a website. You probably then go to a download folder, and then you download that document in its native format, either in Word or in PDF. And then, so you're actually not using the internet to consume the information. You're using the internet to get to a post office box to download a traditional PDF document. We think that no longer works for the modern age, because when we're dealing with information, we're dealing with policies and procedures and guides and handbooks and standards and codes of practice and regulations and legislation. And often we need to consume bits of all of them to do the job we're trying to do. And Microsoft Word and PDF were never meant to do that. Word is great for creating content. PDF is terrific at printing it. They're both absolutely terrible at distributing it. And that's the big problem that we are solving, is we use the internet for everything. We use it for movies. We use it for e-commerce. We use it for looking up, the bus timetable. We use it for everything. But when we go to the document, arguably the place where we keep all mankind's knowledge, it's not there unless it's a short document. A short document, you might give it to the web team. They'll knock together a few pages. A good web team can maybe build 20 or 30 pages a day. Well, Revealr, we build thousands and thousands of web pages a day. Why? Because we don't try and make PDF work online, and also because until we came along, there's been no way to get mankind's knowledge up online at scale. So building web pages until we came along is a cottage industry. You can build a few web pages, but essentially, if you've got to say a 100-page document, it's a big process. So inventing digital twin, what we decided to do is, rather than try and make a Word or PDF document work online, we decided that we would instead create what we call a digital twin, a web-based replica, a web-based copy, if you like, of the original document. And that way, if we could then turn 100 pages into 100 web pages, then we could be able to then go to the internet to consume anything we wanted in real time. We wouldn't have to download everything. And so we talked to the committee and explained the methodology by which we did this. And now we've built many, many big implementations using this digital twin technology. So a very good example is that let's take Australian regulation. Australia has 6 financial services regulators. Many of them will be known to the people watching this video. You can go to ASIC or APRA or AUSTRAC or the Reserve Bank, or you can go to the ACCC. And each of them has a website, and each of them is full of thousands of pages of primarily PDF documents. And you can download them. And when you download them, it is free. But when you download them, they don't get downloaded to your local drive or into SharePoint or into Confluence or whatever particular system you use. But then you're then confronted with a 100-page or a 300-page document to consume. We've just built Regulation City, which is a 60,000-page website where we have replicated all those regulations from each of those regulators. And Regulation City now is a web-based copy, a digital twin of the original. It always points to the source of truth within the original regulator. But now you can go to a single place and you are one click from any page of any document. So we've changed the consumption layer. We've made it the web, the way we can get to it is we use the internet to distribute it to you, because you can then just go to a website, Regulation City. And every page has its own URL. You're one click from any page of any document. If you wish, you can change it, the language in which you wish to consume it into Chinese or Greek or Italian or French or Swahili. Doesn't matter, because we just use a translation mechanism there, and you can look at that in real time. 60% of internet connections these days start on a mobile device. Mobiles are terrible for PDF, because or even reading it, pinching and squeezing a little screen and then downloading a document. With ourselves, it's now optimized for mobile. And so you can actually now fit the screen and turn it landscape and make it work on an iPad or make it work on an Android. They're all the same. If you are unfortunate enough to have a disability, and 17% of Australians do, you may be an eyesight deficiency or a hearing deficiency or a motor skills deficiency if you can't use a mouse and things like that. So it means that every page now, you can blow the font size up. You can reverse the contrast to make it work for people who are colorblind. And you can make it work on a keyboard without having to go to a mouse. So why is this important? The consensus committee saw that we are breaking down the digital divide with this technology. Now, every page is instantly available. You don't have any particular skills. All you need to do is know how to get to a website. So just go in through your favorite browser. You don't need to know how long the document is or want to download 200 pages. You can go straight to section 14.3.2 of one document, and you can open up a companion document in another tab, and we can even stitch them together again and give a hyperlink between the two. So 27% of Australians do not speak English in this country. 17% of us have a disability. And 60% of us start our conversations on a mobile device. Word and PDF don't do any of those things well. So this is why it's important. So we look for big problems because this is a worldwide problem. So for instance, if I'm interested in environmental, social, and governance, ESG type projects, these are the problems of mankind right now. So the International Climate Change Committee, for instance, put out a massive report, a few hundred pages, a few months back. In the bibliography at the back, there were another 200 documents to which it referred. Now, if you wanted to go and get hold of that content, you had to download each of those documents. So we recently did another project of the Disability Royal Commission it's an 8,000-page report of all the problems that we have in disability. It's a big problem in this country. And the government had a 3-year exercise to go and discover these problems. The report, 8,000-page PDF in across 10 volumes in the government edition. In our web-based edition, an 8,000-page website, one click, any language, any device, any problem, instantly available, totally free of charge. So this is the difference. So we had a number of different projects that we showed the committee, but the problem, whether it's policies or procedures or guides or regulations or standards or reports, it doesn't matter. The problems are all the same. And they have different rules, they may have different taxonomies, different glossaries, but we want to be able to consume information quickly. We want to be able to do it from any device. We want to be able to do it in any language, and we want to be able to contextualize it with related information. And that's what we do. I do have a shortcut way of describing what we do. We call ourselves the Netflix of documents. And the reason we use that term is that Netflix, most of you on this call will, on this video, will use a streaming service every day, every night, watching your favorite TV show or movie. 10 years ago, you'd go down to Blockbuster and get a movie out from a store, on a DVD. The original movie, whether it's Warner Brothers or Disney, whoever made it, made one movie, but Blockbuster made millions of copies of that movie. And then they disseminated it out to all their stores around the world. And then you or I would then go down to the store, get the movies we wanted and take it home and take it back the next day. Quite a clunky process. There is no Blockbuster anymore. It's gone. Why is it gone? Warner Brothers movie hasn't changed, or Disney's hasn't changed. What's changed is we now distribute it to you via the internet in real time, in the language of your choice, with subtitles you wish. You can change the genre. You can change the topic. If you want to watch a documentary, if you want to watch a love story, if you want to watch an action movie, you just change you just use the internet to go to a different stream. Well, we're doing the same thing with documents. Now you can stream documents to yourself in real time. We call it a digital twin, a web-based copy. And the lovely thing about that is that both of us are interested in the source of truth. We're both interested in the source. So we don't allow duplicates. It means the digital twin is always pointing to the original source document, which we don't change. We just give you a web-based view of it. And no one has done that before now. And that's the big difference. Real-time information to you on the device of your choice on virtually any topic. And it can be an intranet flavor, it can be a web, or it can be an internet flavor. And in fact, the technology is very flexible because from a single source, you can produce a web edition, an intranet edition, an extranet edition, a mobile online edition, a print edition, and even now an API edition if you want to pipe the content into a big system there for data. So this is transformative technology. And we're very fortunate to have some great customers. We work with banks, we work with insurers, we work with government agencies, and we're expanding, and it's extremely exciting. But we had to build it first, and it was harder than we thought. It took twice as long and cost us twice as much as we would have thought. But I think if you talk to any entrepreneur with any technology company, you've probably heard that story before.
How have the Consensus Awards benefited you personally and professionally? What opportunities have you received from the Consensus Awards?
I love talking about the Consensus Awards. I think everyone loves to have attribution when you do something and people recognize it. The thing about Consensus is special in many ways. It's kind of the one you want to win. Because Consensus, first of all, you're judged by your peers. So these are people who are well-known or you're well-credentialed, and they look around for things that make a difference. And the Consensus Award has a tremendous track record of picking companies that have gone on to do extremely well. So I do remember, talking to jolly day, and hearing that WiseTech Global and Atlassian are former winners. And so to be put into that same club, it's kind of daunting. These are very, very big boots to fill. So we were very excited when we were selected to win a consensus award. But the thing about that is everyone likes to win it because the thing about any award, of course, is it's people view them. They know that someone has judged them on a set of criteria. They're usually pretty hard to do. There's a lot of competition for these things normally. So what's consensus meant to me? It's meant instant credibility when we go and pitch someone that hasn't heard of our company. So a large bank or a large insurance company or a large government agency, they want to know who they're dealing with, and they want to know, are you good? And if you're small, they're taking a bit of a risk on you. So they want to know that if you're not a household name like Google or IBM, then you've got to have something else that's special. In this case, it's special technology, it's award-winning, it's accredited, it's been reviewed, and it helps get us in the door, and it helps us win credibility when looking for capital or looking for partnerships. And so in that sense, consensus has been amazing. And we feel very, very, very proud that we were able to get the endorsement of the committee in order to win this award.
What advice would you give to those who want to join the Consensus Awards, the participants?
I think anybody who has been on a journey, and we're 6 years into this journey with Revealr, and along the way, you do lots of things and you make lots of mistakes, but you learn by your mistakes, and you go forward from there. So the thing about any technology company is I think there's a number of different ingredients. Number one is you've got to back yourself. We invented a new category. There is no category for a digitalized document system that would turn all the regulations into a 60,000-page website. They don't come up. They say PDF solution wanted. My job is, of course, to go and say, why do you want a 30-year-old technology when you can have one that was built for a different time? This is the way going forward we need to do it. So the thing is, you've got to back yourself. You've got to actually, if you've got a big idea, you've got to back yourself and believe. You've got to be realistic too. Is there a need for this problem? Is this a problem that needs to be solved? So we see lots of Me Too type products out there, and there's room sometimes for multiple players. But the thing is that thing about that is that to solve big problems has a big commercial side, but there's also social and side to it as well. So we can make a big difference in disability. We can make a big difference in climate change. We can make a big difference in breaking down the digital divide, where the kids out in the western suburbs of Sydney, for instance, often come from poorer families, and the bandwidth is terrible. To download a 2 megabyte document is not fun. Every web page in our technology is a 4K site, so you can do it on a mobile, on the run, on the bus, and these kids can do it from the phone they've already got. They don't need to have lots of money. So you can make a difference to people's lives by giving them information they want in the place they need it, in the language of their choice. A very good example of that recently was we won a project there where the government this government agency wanted to have all its policies and procedures online, but they were in a fire risk and flood area. All their policies and procedures were sitting behind the desk in the HR office. We said that information needs to be in the hands of people on a mobile device, and if they're in the middle of a fire, they need to make it work if there's no internet working. And they need to be able, if they're in a flood, they need to know what to do quickly. And they need to be able to do it in the language of their choice. So a PDF or a Word document is not going to be much help if it gets wet in the middle of a flood. So the whole thing there is instant access anywhere you are on the planet, because the internet's everywhere. And we flick into offline mode on your mobile, and it just loads the cache of the phone. So these are things that solve a real problem. The second thing is seek advice. No one knows it all. I'm very fortunate to have an advisory board, and I've got people to ask difficult questions to, and people to challenge me. If they say, "Oh, Bruce, that's not a good idea. Have you thought about doing it this way?" So surround yourself by smart people, and some of them will be there because they want to help. Some of them are there because they think it's a good investment. But the whole point there is no one knows it all, and so you need to be able to. And your business is going to change. Sometimes you need a market entry strategy. Sometimes you need a patent strategy. Sometimes you need to be able to price something a different way for a new marketplace. Sometimes you need to be able to get on a government committee to be able to find out how things work. Surround yourself by smart people. Just in closing, look, I'd just love to say a big thank you to Consensus for allowing us to participate in this. We know that there are many worthy companies in Australia. We're a very smart nation. Consensus is a good vehicle to help give a leg up, because I think Australians are good at inventing. They're not quite as good at commercializing. And I think a big tick in the box from Consensus helps. To me, it's a little bit like you see sometimes on healthy food. There's a heart tick. This is good for your body. Well, Consensus is good for your business, and so you don't win it for the sake of winning it, but it is certainly something we're very proud of.